Hey guys, it's Jake Mace, the vegan athlete, and it is time for me to show you guys my summer garden. It's reached 111 degrees here in Phoenix, Tempe, Arizona, and I tend to show you guys one tour of my summer garden every year. This is it. So it's going to be about a 30-40 minute video. We're going to go through all the different bushes, plant life in my raised beds, as well as trees that I'm growing, and you guys can see in 111 degree heat in June in Phoenix what is surviving, what is thriving, what's kind of just existing, and what's died. Okay, so one thing that's doing great is my watermelon. I wanted to grow enough watermelon that I can have one a day, and this is my fourth one so far. Look at these guys. They think they're going to get some watermelon. You guys want watermelon? I have to eat it first. I give them the rind, a little bit of pink on it. Alright, without further ado, give me a like, put a comment down below, and tell me you love the garden. Like it, subscribe to our channel, and here comes our summer 2014 vegetable garden, backyard and front yard in Tempe, which is a suburb of Phoenix, Arizona. You guys gotta sit. Can all the good dogs sit, please? 1, 2, 3. There's Tesla, there you go. There's Peppers, there you go. There's Venus's. Nice catch, Venus. Oh man, you're like a movie star. And there's one more guy that I give the watermelon to. I want to show you guys him before he goes in. Then we'll start the tour. It's treat day for the dinosaur. Come on, Leo. He'll see it and come running. Come on, buddy. He's like, oh, that looks pretty good. If you guys want a little size comparison, that's Leo the tortoise. That's my hand. I'm pretty big hands. And he's just dwarfing my hand. I got a size 13 foot. And that's a size 13 foot next to him. He's huge. Here he is next to the dogs. Pep, the tortoise is as big as you. Alright guys, so this year I wanted to start the tour by showing you guys my trashway. This is what's outside my fence, which is nice because I get a buffer between me and my neighbors. That's where the trash collection is. And my gate is right here. Come with me, and you'll be in a world of my edible imagination. And this is what it looks like from the trashway. I think it's a nice little view. You get the swing and the pond right there. And the trees are getting bigger every season. So what we got right here, if we start with trees, this is a desert gold peach, which is doing really well. It caught about 30 peaches on it this year we ate. We probably lost 5 to the birds, but we picked most of them when they were ripe or right before they were ripe and brought them inside to ripen inside. That way the birds don't get them. This is a black mission fig, and it's got nice leaves this year. We just moved him here when he went dormant, so he's got nice little green figs everywhere. Probably about 25 green figs that I'm hoping will turn black, big, and juicy in another month or so, maybe a couple weeks. And we planted a papaya tree, which is doing quite well. There's a local tropical fruit growers club that I went to, and they're really cool people, and I got this from a great guy. He's a physician, and he gave me one of the papayas he was growing. Actually, he gave me 2 of them. This one looks nice and it's getting bigger. It's probably twice the size when I put it in the ground. The one I have next to him, I'll show you in a second, isn't getting enough sun, so he's got some yellow leaves, but he'll bounce back when I give him some more sun. So around my pond here, we have the pond going. Looks nice. This guy right here is a jabuticaba, which is doing nice. He's in the shade half the day. We have a kumquat, Nagami kumquat. These are the Sonoran desert chocolate flowers. They bloom yellow chocolate smelling flowers in the daytime, but then they go and close right now about evening. It's about 5:30 p.m. Another kumquat. The lemon tree is doing well. It's from my mom's yard she gave to us. If we go into the island here, we can see behind the Jabuticaba, we've got a loquat tree, and this is a big Jim loquat, and he doesn't have very much foliage, but he produced over 30 loquats, and they were delicious. Don't tell my wife Pam, but I ate every one of them when she was working. I did save her a couple, and she got to taste it. But the one out front is a golden nugget loquat, and it has tons of foliage. I'll show you guys, but no fruit. This one's got no foliage, but all the fruit, so weird. Inside the river, we have yerba manza growing, which is, you can use it medicinally and make a tea out of it. This is chocolate mint we have growing into the river, and so I hardly ever need to water it. We have a young fairy duster coming up right there. These two guys with the fan leaves are taro root, which are not thriving, they're kind of just surviving. Taro root. And then we have around the pond, I'm doing maintenance on the waterfall today, so sorry it's not finished, but I was cleaning out the filters and adding some active bacteria and microbes into the water. And so normally all of these rocks on the ground are on top of that tank to make it look natural. But around it we have rosemary, culinary rosemary. This is a green Taiwanese bamboo back here, and he's twice the size as when I put him in the ground. This one is a coffee cake persimmon, and it's even got little persimmon on it. Look at that guy. So cute. He's got two of them. He's got one down here too. This guy right there. There's another one right there. See him? So this is a coffee cake persimmon that is doing pretty good. I think he'd do better if he had more sun, because this mesquite tree tends to shade him. But it might be good this time of year to have the extra shade. That's the other papaya. And he's growing new leaves, but they look yellow in comparison to his buddy over here, whose leaves look green. So I'm hoping that this guy will live for 4 or 5 years and grow to be maybe 10 feet tall and give me lots of amazing papayas. So if I walk you down the row, next to our compost turbines, we have 3 of them, our tumblers. Grow our own compost here, and I've mixed that into my raised beds this year, and every bed I put my compost in has done incredible. This one is a tiger fig, kind of just surviving, not really thriving, I would say. This guy's a 2-in-1 pear, which is doing pretty well. Got a few pears on him. This guy is thanks to John Kohler with Growing Your Greens. He did a whole episode on desert plants that are like survivalist plants, that if you lost your water, they would survive in the heat with no water, and they would do well. And you can eat them as like a famine food. And this is called a quail bush. It's in like the salt bush family, quail bush. And dude, I bought these at the Desert Botanical Garden plant sale in the spring, last April. They were in a 1-gallon pot, and look at the size of these guys now. They are like, that's my dog Venus, she's 30 pounds, 35 pounds. Those quail bush plants, look at them. This is humongous. It was a little tiny itty-bitty plant. But what it does is cool, it makes the dock look kind of blended in with the landscape. Next to the dock I put Sonoran Desert Blackfoot daisies. I hardly ever water those, and they just keep blooming. They're amazing. They love the native conditions. This one here is another Sonoran Desert plant called a globe mallow. It's the peach color globe mallow. Got some cattails in there, which I know have some edible uses. That's dwarf cattail. And another Blackfoot daisy here. And so if we keep going down the row after the pear tree here, we have apricot tree, and I pulled off about 12 apricots off this guy this year. It's the first year he's ever produced apricots for us, and he's doing great. The sun rises here, and it goes up and behind us, and it sets behind where I am right now, so this guy tends to try to like angle himself and grow into the sun, away from the fence, away from the wall. So I tied those ties right there on the right, so he kind of stays upright. This is our pineapple guava that the quail bush is growing into. Look at how invasive this quail bush is. Maybe it'll help shade each other. Permaculture, baby, permaculture. Do it. The pineapple guava, this one looks great, and they got hundreds of flowers, and the flowers were delicious. They tasted like vanilla, cherry kind of. But I've never had any fruit on these guys yet, and they're still young. Only its 3rd year here, this guy. And he's the furthest along we have, but I hope that the flowers will fruit in our environment here in Phoenix. This is a Capulin cherry. It's a Sonoran Desert Mexican style cherry that's been adapted for this region, and it's called a Capulin, C-A-P-L-I-N. Lowe's had a bunch of these guys and I got them, and they're doing great. This guy fruited cherries. He's got some sunburn on the leaves right now, but all in all, he's growing new leaves as the heat ramps up, and he's doing really well. He's probably tripled in size since I planted them this spring. We put a new pomegranate tree here, the Palm Wonderful variety. It's the only one we have that's Palm Wonderful. And then our first raised bed. This is red Russian kale. It's gone to seed, and so I've stopped watering it. Even though you could like pick off the little baby greens on here, and you guys can see little baby green, and I can eat that, and it's still delicious. I'm really just letting these guys go for the seeds. So I'm taking all these seed pods, you guys can see. They look dead, and that's what I want. And then what I do is I harvest the red Russian kale seed pod, and at the same time I make my own microgreen mixes so I can grow microgreens in my raised beds that I want to have a quick turnaround, or in trays like my wheatgrass. And you just kind of pop this open like this. Watch, just gonna massage it and see all the seeds inside there. I wonder if my camera will clear up for you guys. No, sorry, it's gonna be stable already. But anyways, those black things right there are the seeds, and I just throw them back in. And what I'll have is a bunch of volunteer plants next spring. Look at that little strawberry plant in there. This is the only bed I have strawberries in, so even though it's 111, and it's been 110, 111, 109 all week, my strawberries are still doing it. These strawberries are shaded until about 12 noon by this Australian bookleaf tree that Pam and I is our first tree we ever got together before we were into the edibles. And he's doing amazing. And you can see all these little pods on this guy. These pods, see these guys, those like pointy cones? They're going to erupt and bloom and flower in about a week or two. And this tree will be covered in bees. So even though I've never found an edible use for it, it is a pollinator attractor. It attracts so many bees, and then my garden reaps the benefits. So it is amazing. And it creates shade for my strawberries. And so this is one of the things that since I've been gardening, I'm telling you guys, there is nothing that I have grown that has surprised me more than the taste of fresh strawberries from the garden. They are so good, so delectable. Oh my God. They melt in your mouth, and the taste is almost fake. It tastes like an artificial sweetener. It's so good. So it's amazing. I just come out here every day and I water these guys, and I probably pull off about half a dozen strawberries a day. And then I share some with Pam. I gave her like a little to-go cup when she goes to work in the morning, because I usually pick all of them in the morning time. Ooh, I lost that guy. Trying to knock off the dirt. And then I give her a couple, and I eat the rest. I throw the tops back in there. And you just gotta check it like this, and you'll get lucky and find them like that. Sometimes they get eaten a little bit. They get have a great side, and they get a little bite from a bird. And I don't care about that. I still eat it. Because just eat around the bad part and it looks great on the inside. Look at this. Strawberries everywhere. Maybe if I eat this strawberry, it grew next to that hot pepper, it'll be a spicy strawberry. Jake Mace variety spicy strawberry. And looks like the rest of them I already ate. So all these white guys will be new ones tomorrow or the next day. These pepper plants never died over the winter because we had the warmest winter in recent memory, so they just kept living. And these peppers are incredible. We've dried them, we dehydrate them, and then we turn them into powder, and it's like the best spice for heating up your food. It's like unbelievable. I put in everything. Armenian cucumbers are climbing up my trellis, so eventually, another couple weeks, I'll have this trellis full on green with the Armenian cucumber starting to grow. And even though they start kind of like this, they look very small, they become enormous, and they nickname them as the serpent melons. And then we have more over here. So this will be an Armenian cucumber. Oh, look, there's a nice looking one. I didn't see him yet. So let's see, that's like a teenager. And when you get them when they're ripe, oh, here's a nice one. When you get them when they're ripe, they taste almost like a melon. Like a cucumber had sex with a melon, and this is their baby. Which is probably what happened. Then we had the living wall. I was doing some neem oil in this pump right here. I'll tell you what I was doing later. We got some marigolds that were just volunteer marigolds from last year, and I wanted to be the king of sweet peppers this summer. And when I was at Baker Nursery, they go, I don't think sweet peppers can take the full heat. So I got most of my sweet peppers from Suzanne Velarde with Velarde Gardens or Sonoran Seasonings. And I also got them from Baker Nursery. And I wanted to show Baker that I can grow it in the summer, and it's working. So we got all kinds of pepper plants. I got inspired by John Kohler because he had an episode about peppers last season, and he just made peppers look so good, and I was only growing hot ones, and I was like, damn, I wish I had some sweet ones I can eat. And so we're growing, these are banana peppers, sweet banana peppers. It might be in Anaheim chili. This one is, I put all the tags in there, I wonder if they are. Oh, this one's called a red night pepper. And so I'm going to wait till they turn red, but there's just loaded with peppers. Peppers all over the place. This guy's also a red night. He's turning a little bit red right there. Dark one. These are, let's see here. Looks like just a green pepper. I forget the variety. This guy's more red night, so they got to turn red. I got some basil mixed in. We got some sweet basil, which is doing great, and we got some of this Greek basil, which is doing really nice. I let it go to flower because I eat the flowers. They taste really good. And I just pick them like this, and they're like a delicacy on a salad. And the bees love them. You'll probably see some bees all over them. And I was just at Trader Joe's, and I was getting some avocados, and this lady's trying to buy a basil plant from Trader Joe's because they got good plants there for like $2.99. And she's asking the guys who work there, can I plant this right now, or is it too hot? And everybody was around me saying, oh, it's too hot, it's going to die, you can't grow anything right now. And I'm like, I have like 20 basil plants right now that are doing great, and it's 115 degrees outside. So don't go to Trader Joe's produce section if you want advice on gardening. Come here to this channel, or go to growinyourgreens.com. Then, going along the strip, we have this whole strip, the living wall, which blocks my pool from the rest of the yard. And the living wall is full of sweet peppers, all sweet peppers. We got more red night peppers, and what happens is, see how they get like that burn mark? Sometimes if they get watered and the water stays on there, so I'll pick that one, eat that one, and let the other ones go red. So if they get the burn mark, I know I'm supposed to let them fully ripen, but I'll pick them in order to save them. So we have red night. I've planted them in threes. Red night, red night, red night. This one's called a sweet cherry pepper. Sweet cherry. And these ones are delicious. And so look at all the peppers. And then this one is like ripe, almost ripe. They get like dark, and then this one down here, they get like really red. And they look kind of like little cherries. Oh man, they're fantastic. The sweet cherry pepper is really great, one of my favorites of the year. Let's see how this one tastes. So you really want to let your nightshades, like your peppers and tomatoes, get fully ripe. Full of seeds that I can save to replant next year. Looks pretty good. Might just like sprinkle those in there and get some volunteer peppers next year. This one is called an early sensation. It's a yellow pepper. And look, they're turning yellow. So this guy's loaded. These guys were so loaded full of peppers. I've already pulled many off them. I had to use like rocks down below. You guys can see to stabilize the stem. So the stem like leans on the rock. Because they were, and I used a brick for this one to lay them up. Because they were just like, they were totally pulling themselves over. And the peppers were causing the plant to stay up. So I wanted the plant to shade itself better. Now, my favorite pepper of the year so far is this one. What kind of pepper is that? Tell me. To my fans from Mexico, Mexico. ¿Qué es este? ¿Qué es esto? What is this pepper? Jalapeno? No! It turns red. It looks like jalapeno. But, I'll show you. If that was a jalapeno, I'd be burning my mouth off right now. It's called a fulju pepper. It's so delicious. Oh my god. This guy, fulju pepper. Because it fooled you. So we did, look at this guy, loaded with peppers, taking the full sun like a champion. This guy, loaded with peppers, ripening great. No sunburn on the fulju pepper, which is a big plus. So if you wanted just one sweet pepper, I would say the what's it called, the sweet cherry. I haven't had any of those sunburn. And I haven't had any of the fulju sunburn. That's a safe bet to go for peppers. More basil, sweet basil, Greek basil. These pepper plants, for some reason in this section, they're not as prolific as the other sections. So they are growing peppers. These ones are called Orange Blaze. I did this whole living wall this year from little seed starts. This one's called a Better Bell pepper. And he's got a good variety of little guys. You can see them on there. These are more those sweet cherry guys, and they're kind of small, but look at them. They're just loaded up with sweet cherry peppers. Not quite ripe, but doing great. I made this little section a watermelon section because it was open and I didn't know what to plant here, and it was getting late in the season. So I just planted a bunch of watermelons in here. And I think they're all crimson sweet watermelons. And they have not become susceptible to aphids yet. But as you'll see, my watermelons in the front yard, I have an aphid problem, and I'm trying to battle because the plants and the watermelons look so good. I don't want to lose the plants. But these guys look great so far. They're sending off their runners. Here in front I put Egyptian spinach, which is going to grow all summer and take the heat like a boss. This Egyptian spinach is unbelievable. It will become a huge bush, and it will help shade the watermelon plants, even though they don't really need it. This is more sweet peppers, more of the sweet cherry variety. They're looking pretty good. This guy looking like he's ripe, so let's pick that guy and show you. See, if I water them, they get a little bit of that water crust. Even if you use a filter, still get it. But it's so delicious. Let me clear that up for you guys. So good. These ones are called California Wonder Pepper. And these guys are enormous. A little bit of sunburn, but doing okay. This guy pulled off a lot of nice looking peppers off of this guy so far. This one is called a YOLO Wonder Pepper. And the YOLO Wonders, they really are doing great. Like, look at the size of those guys. I can't believe it. It's a wonder. It's the 10th wonder. And this one is called a Carmen. John Kohler said that the Carmen pepper was one of his favorites one time I saw in an episode. So I planted the Carmen pepper, and look, it looks great. Like, even at 110, they're ripening up nice and red. They're loaded up with peppers, and I'll probably pick one of those and grill it tonight. These ones are the sweet banana peppers. They look kind of like little bananas. Even they're getting red and ripening up. And then this guy back here is another YOLO wonder. He's got a little bit of a bug. This one got a little bit of a bug problem. I'll give this guy to my tortoise. But I'm telling you guys, look at the size of these peppers. It looks so delicious, so good. They look amazing. Look at them, they're just everywhere. They're huge. So that's the main pepper garden bed with more cucumbers, Armenians growing up the trellis, and they're getting taller. They're almost ready. So this raised bed looks pretty nice. Now, where I'll take you next is, let's go out into the main part of the garden. I'll give you a little once around here. We have just under half an acre in Tempe, and we've planted everything edible. So on each of these 4x6s holding up the shade sail, we have Autumn Royale grapes, and they've done great. This Autumn Royale grape over here has a symbiotic relationship with the ironwood tree, and he's growing right up the ironwood, so he's mixing in. See how they're mixed? Ironwood on the left, Autumn Royale grape on the right. It looks pretty good. This guy over here is the smallest grape, next to another Sonoran desert flower right here. This guy is another Autumn Royale grape. Look at these guys, loaded with grapes. There's grapes here on the ground. There's grapes up here on the trunk. So the smallest grape vine with the least amount of foliage has got so many grapes just loaded up. Yeah, it's a great feast. And the birds haven't found this guy yet, so we get to eat him. Next to this Sonoran desert flower. And if we walk over here, I'll show you this guy next to the beach here is a Barbados cherry tree. This is from Shameless O'Leary's Tropical Trees on the west side of Phoenix. Look at the flowers on the Barbados cherry, so cute. Cute little flowers. So I'm pretty impressed with this Barbados cherry. He's growing pretty well. He's doubled in size. Looks like a cute little pomegranate or something. And this guy over here is the Jabuticaba, and doesn't look too hot. I don't know what it is. This guy was growing so prolifically until about 10 days ago, and then just all of a sudden just kicked the bucket. It saddens me. His buddy over there, right here, is still doing okay. It's a Jabuticaba as well, but this one's looks like it's dead. I'll have to rethink that area. And if I go over the bridge, over the mountains, and across the bridge to grandmother's house we go. You'll see one of my favorite trees right now. We got two of them planted here. It's my guamuchil tree. Esto es mi árbol de guamuchil. And this guamuchil tree is so cool, man. It's got little thorns. The leaves look cute. And the guy at Lowe's here in Tempe named Charlie, he told me that this is all the rave in California right now, and it's got this edible bean pod in there like a tamarind, but you eat the white flesh and it tastes like banana vanilla ice cream. So we're gonna find out together. It's doubled in size since I planted him. We got one in the front as well, and he's looking fantastic. So if you go to any Lowe's in the valley right now, they are loaded with guamuchil trees. And let's go over here. If I take you across the octagon, I'll show you next to my pool. That's a Merlot grapevine going up that 4x6 right there. Look at him, 2 arms in the sky. It's loaded with Merlot grapes. Looking really nice. And then when people first walk in our yard, they get to come through this gate. And we have visitors or whatever, and they get to walk through this little mini jungle of Merlot grape, hackberry, desert hackberry, right here, which put off nice little berries. Turkey fig, which is loaded with figs. This guy has just grown so well since we planted him here. And he's loaded with green figs that aren't quite ripe yet. We have a Bonanza peaches. Now these Bonanza peaches are incredible. We got a Florida Prince peach, desert gold peach, and they produced hundreds of peaches that were small. But even though these Bonanza miniature peach trees are small, they put off peaches that are enormous. I mean, I've already pulled off, I think, all the peaches off this guy. Oh wait, no, I left one. I picked it and left it here for you guys. And they're huge. They're like this. Like, this is a medium-sized one. I've had them bigger than this. And this little tiny miniature peach is putting off incredible peaches. And they're delicious. They're juicy and scrumptious. So I'm going to plant some more of these guys. So I have 4 of them right now. And that's another one. This one's a year behind this guy. So this guy was this size a year ago. Now this size. Before, after. Are you getting nauseous? And Australian lime. This is an Australian finger lime. And this grows great here. We've had success growing this guy. He hasn't really grown buku crazy, but he still stays pretty nice. And he grows these cool limes that are delicious, man. I mean, he's got thorns. He takes the drought really well. But these limes are like small. But if you open it up, that's what it looks like on the inside. And like little balls. And it tastes amazing. These guys are so delicious. I'm going to eat this while I talk to you guys. Finger lime. That Australian finger lime was from Baker Nursery. More Armenian cucumbers growing up here, and this is our yard. So this is about sunset. We got a little under half an acre here. We got everything we're planting is edible, and we're going to take you over to our main garden area right now. So as we pass, I'll show you guys some things we have growing. We're having a lot of success with our almond trees. This is a Garden Prince almond in his 3rd year, and he's not very big, but he's very dense, and he had 50 almonds on him. He's doing great. And then this guy over here is an all-in-one almond tree. So look at the cool leaves he's got, and then look at how much growth this year alone. So this year, the brown trunk, the brown stem right here is where he stopped growing last year. And now everything that's green from here, where the green and the brown stop, see that? That's where the new growth started this season. And look at how much new growth this season. Yes, almonds, guys, grow them. They're doing great out here. That's our Florida Prince peach. That's how we water it. We just lay these guys in the mulch pits and a slow trickle, and that's our biggest tree, so I give him the most water, but very few, by the most water, I mean I give him the largest flow of water. We only give him water like once every 2 weeks. The mulch keeps the moisture in the roots. And then this guy is our pecan, Tejas pecan. And this guy was just a stick on the ground from Baker Nursery, and now he is looking great. He's almost rivaling the peach tree, but no pecans, of course, he's still too young. But we're hoping this guy will be the big shade for the western wall of the house, which now is being shaded by Thompson seedless and Autumn Royale grapes. So look at the green seedless grapevine, Autumn Royale. The green seedless is kicking ass. And that's shading our master bedroom from the western facing sun. So that's a western facing wall. It's like magma, and that grape takes it like a champ. And those are 2 more Bonanza peaches. And then if we walk over here, we have another all-in-one almond. They bloom white flowers. This all-in-one almond also blooms white flowers. And the Florida, or the Garden Prince almond blooms pink flowers. Our Granadas pomegranates looking really good. This is an angel red pomegranate we got. This is one of the first trees we planted, so he's in his 3rd year and loaded with pomegranates, looking really good. In my opinion, the xeriscape looks really good. We've got a totem, desert lavender, nopales or nopalitos, cordon, Peruvian apple cactus here and here. This will put off amazing, delicious cactus fruits. This desert lavender you can use culinary or medicinal. The nopalitos are edible and are so good for diet and health. And this is a Florida blue palo verde, which has edible bean pods that taste like edamame. Guys, this Florida blue palo verde has tripled or quadrupled in size just this year alone. And the edamame, that pods that he puts off, are delicious. I've loved them. And this guy's our Asian pear, and he puts off little Asian pears. Hasn't put off any big Asian pears yet, but maybe someday he will. And then we're going to go in the main garden center. We grow and raise beds, and I put this netting over the entire garden area so the birds can't get in. They still get in once in a while, but nothing like they used to. Look at that, guys. That's the tree kale, tree collards, green tree collards. And this is their second year. They're like a perennial. Year 2 for them. And they're delicious. We use them as wraps. If they start to get a little bit bad like this one, we give them to the rabbit and to the tortoise. And they like it. Like, watch. He's waiting. Chubs. Hey, Chubs. Hey, Chubs. We put frozen bottles out here for Chubs because then he can lay on the bottles and have a little bit of air conditioning. And we give him some kale. One thing that Chubs likes a lot is grapes. It's like his treat. We don't give it to him all the time, but once in a while he just digs grapes so much. It's like a 25-pound rabbit, and they say you can't keep him outside in the summer, but we do because he has the burrow. He goes down in that burrow. We give him lots of frozen bottles to use, and so he stays nice and cool outside. He sheds like that and does just fine. I brought 1,000 or so bees to my house. There you go, Chubs. Eat it up, baby. And so our bee box is right here in front of our mint. You can see all the bees coming and going right here. And so the bees, I captured them from another person's house down the street. They had them on a tree and brought them here. And we've noticed our garden's been producing a lot of peppers, a lot of watermelons, a lot of strawberries, so maybe that they're playing a role in pollinizing all of our food. And then we're going to hopefully be able to share their honey a little bit with them. Not take it all, just take a little bit when they, in the winter time. So those are our bees. They're the most active right now, so that's about as active as they get. In the morning time, you won't even see them. But they all come back in the evening, and it's like they're meeting up at the pub for a drink, for a pint. Over here we got the den for Leo, you guys saw Leo, the big tortoise, that's his cave. So he already went in there for sleepy time. He goes way deep in there and disappears. I don't know where he goes. But I'm growing these dragon fruit cactus on top of here, and I'm hoping that this cage will be covered like a canopy of dragon fruit. And they have been growing really nicely, so I'm pretty impressed. Got the aloe vera growing in the back of the xeriscape that we use for not only medicinal but consuming, because it's really good to put in our smoothies. And that's the main garden center. Let's go in there and show you guys what else we got growing inside there while I eat this delicious peach. So in this box I put some watermelon plants that are about a month behind the ones I'll show you that are in the front yard. So they're just starting to put off their runners. So watermelon, look how they're covered in wood chips. We cover everything in wood chips. If you guys have noticed in this video, every plant, pepper, tomato, watermelon, they're covered in wood chips. We don't mix wood chips into the soil. We put the wood chips on top of the soil where the stem of the plant is, because it keeps the roots cooler. It keeps moisture in the roots. I can water half the amount and the roots stay cooler, and therefore the plant lives longer in the heat. That's one of our secrets. These guys climbing up are one of my favorite cucumbers. It's called the West Indian bird gherkin. Another one I found out from John Kohler with growingyourgreens.com. Check out John Kohler's YouTube channel. He is unbelievable. He's awesome. I talked to him on the phone once. He's a really cool dude. And these West Indian bird gherkins are just starting to produce, and they will get incredibly invasive. They'll put off hundreds of cucumbers. And they have thorns like that. And you bite it open, and the inside there's all the seeds. So I harvested all these guys from my own seeds, and this is my first time. These are all the plants that grew from my own seeds that I harvested last season. And they will seriously grow all summer. They're going to cover this whole pergola and take over. I got some celery I'm letting go to seed there. So we ate all the celery except for that one, and we let it go to seed so we can harvest that. These tomato plants are amazing. It's called a Texas wild cherry tomato. I got it in the Whole Foods produce section. They had a local company putting their seed starts out. We got the Iatoy onions going around the perimeter of the box. And these green onions you can eat like chives. They're starting to die out, which is good because I can eat the chives. But then underneath here, each one of these guys is a cluster of onion bulbs that are delicious. And these Texas wild cherry tomatoes had just loaded with tomatoes. They're starting to ripen, and the cool thing about them is that they're taking the heat. They're the only tomato plant I have right now that is not looking like it's about to die. Usually this time of year, the tomato plants, you harvest all the tomatoes off them and they just start to kick it. But these Texas wild cherry tomatoes, Texas wild cherry tomato, they're still doing great. And the plant looks really vigorous. No green tomato hornworms yet. Let's see here. Some more watermelons doing great here that we're climbing out. Wood chips, guys. You've got to put wood chips on top of your plants. If you've noticed, everywhere that I have put a plant that I'm trying to have grow through the summer, I have a pile of wood chips all around it. Wood chips, wood chips, wood chips. And I don't put wood chips in the soil because it would suck a lot of the nitrogen out of the soil, but on top it does three things. One, it keeps the moisture in the soil so I can water half as much. Two, it keeps the roots cooler so my plants can grow under cooler conditions as the temperatures ramp up in the 115, 120 range. And also it encourages microbial life in the soil. Got to do it in Arizona. You got to do the wood chips. So I have the tree kale growing here, and look at the size of this tree kale. It's like I'm 6'1", and it's 7 feet tall. So it is delicious. We use this for almost everything, and it's just so great. These are the Iatoy onions I already harvested. Just buckets of them. They look like garlic balls, but they are so delicious. So I can replant these or eat them, and I'm doing a little bit of both. It's fantastic. Tree kale, you guys got to grow it. So what I do with this tree kale is I've already propagated 2 more plants. I take the little shoots like this, and I clip them nice right here, and you can do it without, but if you have some rooting hormone, put it right in the rooting hormone, dip it in that white powder, and then put it in the ground, and I knock these leaves off, and a whole new tree kale plant grows. I'll show you the 2 I have in the front. This bed is full of microgreens. So we're doing a microgreen bed so I can harvest all the baby greens, eat them in my salad. The dinosaur kale in here is doing nice. They take the heat really well. So we can eat the delicious dinosaur kale. No aphids or anything on this guy this year. He's looking really good. And I'm letting all the parsley go to seed. The parsley seeds look a lot like dill seed. And then in the middle of all this, I still have got carrots. Delicious carrots growing. Yeah, look at that guy. I'm going to eat him right now. And for the first time ever, as a gardener here, I have my first carrots going to seed. I've wanted to see a carrot flower so badly, and this is what they look like. This is the first ever carrot plant I've had go to flower. And it looks like a little puffball. It looks beautiful. Ants growing on it. Maybe there are some aphids in there. I don't know. I didn't see any. Look at that spider. That was cool. Let's see if we can see that spider. Oh yeah, look at there he is. Look at that spider right there. My mom and her two sisters are going to freak out. Or maybe my mom and one of her sisters. Anyways, carrot flowers. Now I can harvest my own carrot seeds next year. This is the microgreens here. These are all from my own seeds. We've got a bunch of different bok choys and red Russian kales and radishes, spinaches and red romaine, different greens like that, turnips, beets. This is my box full of sunchokes, Jerusalem artichokes, and they're going to flower. So what this is you go to Whole Foods in the produce section, you guys go get some organic sunchokes, and then they look like little ginger. Looks like ginger. Plant them. And then you got sunflowers on top, which smell amazing. The flower smells so good. And let me describe it to you. It's almost like a, unlike any floral smell, it almost smells like a like a twang. Like if you were to think of a sound, twang. That's how it smells to me. It smells like a sound. And underneath each sunflower plant are a bunch of tubers like potatoes called Jerusalem artichokes for sunchokes. So when these guys all die out, I'll be harvesting pounds and pounds and pounds of sunchokes. Our tomatillo plants are looking pretty good right here. It's about as tall as they seem to be getting, but they've got a lot of tomatillos on them. They get little small tomatillos, but they're little husks. Like that guy. And his buddy over here. And then I got the Egyptian walking onions, which are surviving, not thriving. But I'm still harvesting the greens from those, and we can harvest the sets. See, this is what my tomatoes look like. Loaded with tomatoes. We'll harvest all these tomatoes this weekend. We'll dehydrate them and make our own sun-dried tomatoes. But the plant is on its way out. My goldenberry plants back here look great. I've harvested hundreds of goldenberries, pineapple tomatillos, poha berries, ground cherries, Inca berries, whatever you want to call them. And now if I miss one, they look kind of like this. The husk, you open it up and they get kind of shrivelly. And it's almost like a little goldenberry raisin. And I've been eating these, and they taste like a sweet tart raisin. And they're so good. With a carrot. The Swiss chard is making it, even though it's looked better. It's making it. Got some good leaves on there. The sweet potato plants are doing really well. I just planted these guys about 2 weeks ago, and they're already climbing out of the box. Climbing out. And so we're going to have some sweet potatoes. This is lemongrass, which literally tastes like lemon. I just was eating some. It's so good. So we're going to harvest the little pups. As you can see, the lemongrass grows. These are from Baker Nursery. Caroline, the grower at Baker, made me buy them. And she was right. They were great. So the pups are how it propagates. It's shooting up. And they're just kind of growing more and more. More microgreens for my salad here. Back here behind the chicken coop is, yes, sugar cane. I'm having a lot of success with this sugar cane. This is from Seamus O'Leary's Tropical Trees in West Phoenix. And it's tripled in size since I got it from him. Maybe even quintupled, and it's looking great. It's almost above the wall. In this bed we got the purple tree collards. The first time I've ever gotten some purple tree collards, I got them as a cutting from a friend in Paradise Valley. From Sean Gwill. Check him out. He's with Paradise Veggies. Sean Gwill and Paradise Veggies is who I get my azomite rock dust minerals from. We put a lot of azomite rock dust trace elements in the soil. I get it from him. Tell him Jake Mace sent you. Another tree collard, green variety. Look how tall he is. It's amazing. And that's kind of what we have growing right now. So we got golden berries I'm growing, Swiss chard, microgreens, lemongrass. It's like the Jake Mace recap. Egyptian walking onions, tomatillos, tree collards, tree kale, Jerusalem artichokes. This guy in the middle is lemon balm. So it looks like basil and lemon balm are the champion herbs of the summer. And let's get out of here. And of course, when you eat a carrot out of the garden, you gotta save the greens and either compost them or give them to your incredible rabbit. There you go, Chubs. Try some greens. Eat it, Chubs, eat it! You're a beast, Chubs. Look at you, Chubs. There's no stopping you. Oh, he stopped. Alright, there you go, buddy. Eat it up. Oh, he took it. See you, Chubs. I go in there in about 5 minutes and I pick up all these water bottles, and if the label falls off, and then we freeze him again, bring him back out the next day, and he gets more frozen air conditioning. Right, buddy? Hey there, my friend. Hey, it's okay. Good job. Okay. We got over here. We're having a lot of success with our pear trees. This pear is immune to fire blight, whatever it's called. It's called a Monterey pear. Self-fertile. This guy's doing great. We have 3 of these now. The jujubes, or the Chinese date tree. This one's a Lee variety, and he's looking really good. Their leaves look really waxy. He's looking great. He's from Whitfield Nursery here in Tempe, or Phoenix, Tempe. This one is called a contorted jujube, or Chinese date, and this one's from Baker Nursery. The goji berry bush is doing great. Look at all the flowers coming off. So each one of these flowers, see the white flowers everywhere? All these white flowers. They will all be goji berries. And this guy just keeps producing them, and I keep eating them as they produce. They produce all summer. Sometimes I miss some, like this, and they dehydrate on the vine. And then I still eat them because they just taste like a dehydrated one. And they're still really edible and really nice. So you can even grow goji berries in Phoenix. Why would you pay the store $8 million a pound for goji berries when you can grow them in your backyard? So this is my goji berry plant that's 3 years old. He's doing great. We got the green fig that was just a cutting of a branch from a friend's yard, and that one's doing fantastic. Has 100 figs on him. Green fig variety. I'll get you guys a little close look so you can see. And each branch is just like this, just loaded with green figs. And they stay green and small like that, and then all of a sudden one will just kind of like explode and go more of a yellowish color, and it gets huge really fast. Then you eat that one. We're trying some more dragon fruit down here. We just got started. And then we have the catnip growing here, and the catnip grows into the cat enclosure for the cats, like Jinhu there. Jinhu! Jinhu! And she will eat the catnip through the fence there and then go crazy. And this is our blueberry grape. We got an infestation of those caterpillars, so I finally had to find an organic, natural way to get them. And I did from a couple friends that suggested to me some things, and I'll make a video about it coming up. But this is blueberry grape, and you can see the amount of blueberry grapes we have here. This guy is this is western facing right now, so it faces the west, faces the sunset. And just the amount of grapes we have here is just unreal. These are all delicious. Each one of these guys tastes so incredibly good. They're so delicioso. And since my cats are right there, the cats are the secret service of the grapes. Right, Jinhu? You're the leader. And of course, she gives me the butt. Thanks for the cat butt. So, look at all those grapes. They're everywhere, guys. They're everywhere. Okay, I'll show you guys. We'll finish up this tour in the front yard here. And so when you guys walk out of my place, we got this clothesline. We've been drying our clothes outside because it's cheaper, but I mean, like, if you hang your clothes on a clothesline like this in Phoenix when it's 110, they dry in 20 minutes. It's unreal how fast clothes dry. And then there's our waterfall, pond, punching bags, kung fu area. It's a kung fu mini paradise. There's the ironwood / grapevine combination. This ironwood was in a 1-gallon pot 3 years ago from the Desert Botanical Garden plant sale. I just love this view of the pond. It's so nice. The water rushing in, the bridges right there. This was just a dirt lot 3 years ago. Hey, this is our 3rd year anniversary here. This is year 3. We moved in here in 2011. Okay, front yard. Last thing we'll show you. Out the gate, and we expanded our raised bed situation out to here. So this is our front yard, and these are the golden berry, or the golden, what is it called? Golden cherry? Sun gold cherry tomatoes. And you see how the plant looks like it's about to die, but that's just 2 plants. One of them is sun gold cherry tomatoes. One of them is yellow pear heirloom cherry tomatoes. And they have got hundreds. I'm picking all these this weekend, leaving the green ones to ripen up further. And I love this little corner now. It looks so nice with our Chinese gong. And this guy here on the left is a regular passion fruit, Passion flora edulis. And this one is like a possum purple passion flower, or passion fruit. So hopefully they'll pollinate together, and they're growing vigorously. And then we have the Egyptian spinach in the front, which will grow all summer and become a huge bush. It's so delicious. It's like as healthy as kale or like a kohlrabi, but each leaf is so cool. It looks like it has like a tail like a bobcat. So you can see how, like, see these tails down here? Let me see if I can get it. See the tails? It looks like a bobcat's ears, doesn't it? And that leaf is so succulent and tender. And I eat these all summer long. Eggplants. This is the only raised bed we put eggplants in this year. Last year, if you watch my summer tour from last year, it just was so many eggplants. We literally pulled off 1,000 eggplants last year. We couldn't even eat them all. I dehydrated a lot of them, and I use them now even to this year. When I do hikes and stuff, I take the dehydrated eggplants with us, but each one of these plants is loaded with eggplants. These are the Black Beauty eggplants. They're just all eggplants galore, all back here. Look at these. Eggplant. Eggplant. Underneath the leaves, eggplants. And then behind them, back here, this is the Ichiban. The long, slender variety. So we're going to cut all these guys off and dehydrate them, and just look at how many tomatoes in there. I'll be doing a salsa and a sun-dried tomato, dehydrating them tomorrow. Then we've got this one here is 2 beds of watermelons, and these are the beds that are I have the most amount of watermelon success with these beds. I've already eaten 4 really nice watermelons. You can see there's one right there, and there's watermelons throughout. And I wanted it to look like this. I wanted it to look like an overgrown watermelon patch. But I'm having an aphid infestation. It's my electric Nissan Leaf right there. This aphid explosion. And they're coming in right here. And I had taken care of them once early in the season, and I got rid of them completely for about a month. and with neem oil, Dr. Bronner's soap, peppermint oil, and some diatomaceous earth all in some water, and I pump spray it on. And now it seems like these guys are a little more immune to it, like the Borg. Resistance is futile. They adapted. So I'm spraying them off in the morning, and then I'm doing the neem oil stuff after I spray them off again at night, and I try to spray off every leaf I can. And then I have 9,000 ladybugs coming in 2 days. And I'm going to release the ladybugs at night in here after I water them, so that the ladybugs will hopefully eat the rest. And if I do all that, I'm hoping that that will win me the war, and I'll have watermelons all summer. They just got to last until then. So this is when you see when you come up to my front yard. You see the Christmas lima pole beans here, watermelons, eggplants, tomatoes, passion fruit. And then we started to do a nice little front yard passion fruit tunnel here. See how it tunnels up? And it guards our house from the morning sun, from the late morning sun, so it's a nice shade for our house. And this is more of the passion flower edulous, and they're growing up nice, and they're growing on top of the trellis even. So we did a little canopy, a little front yard patio canopy of passion fruits. And then here's what everybody wants to know. So I'm going to show this one part right here to you guys and do another video. These are our moringa trees. I want you guys to tune back into our channel in a few minutes. I'm going to upload a second video on our moringa trees so you guys can see the progress. Look at all the bean pods. So tune back in about 20-30 minutes to this video, or go to our channel and look at the video right after this one. It'll be right about these moringa trees. And then we have our navel oranges doing great. This is a ruby red grapefruit. This one is a clementine tangerine. It's clementine tangerine. It's doing pretty nice. So clementine tangerine, ruby red grapefruit. This one is a golden nugget mandarin, which is having some trouble, but it's starting to grow more. I've been watering a little bit extra. This is a pluot, and the pluot is a 3-in-1 pluot, and he's tripled in size this year. I can't believe how big this pluot has got. He's looking great. Look how big he is. All these trees, we only paid like $20 to $30 for them, and we got them as babies. Those guys in the middle are moringa trees, and they go up really tall, like 15 feet or taller. This guy here in the front is a star fruit tree. He's doing great so far. Star fruit tree. This is our golden nugget loquat, looking really good, full of leaves. It kicks the ass of the one in the back, but no loquats, just leaves. We got our Santa Rosa plum with some delicious looking plums hanging off. Those look almost ready to eat. And probably about a dozen plums on there that look really good. This is a guy I planted with my Kung Fu teacher, Master Matthew Lee, and now look at that. The chi of Master Matthew Lee is strong, and this tree is carrying it on. We planted another variety of the jujube, the Chinese date called a long, L-A-N-G, long jujube right here. This is the second guamuchil, and that's the sun-kissed or gold-kissed or gold nugget apricot. That plum is delicious. This apricot tree I planted with a research group from ASU. It's doing great. And then we got 2 mangoes right here. It's called a coconut cream mango and a Bailey's Marvel mango. And there's our cinnamon plant we're trying to stabilize. He's got some new growth, but he's got some sunburn. Hopefully I can save him. That's it, guys. I'll leave you here in our front yard looking at the incredible moringa trees. And look at the bean pods coming down off of these moringas. Look at the size. This is my hand. Look at the size of that moringa
bean pod. Very drought tolerant, only water once every 2 weeks. And I can't believe how fast growing these guys are. Unbelievable. Fastest growing trees in the yard. And I wanted to end this video with you guys with some Zen peacefulness. So let's go back into my backyard. You gotta ring the gong when you come in. Yeah, sounds good. Like a temple in China. And let's finish this tour with some koi fish and goldfish. They're hungry and they're ready to eat. Got my secret stash of koi food here. There's the nice looking water trickling in. I'm trying to train the fish to come up here and eat right in front of me. We'll see if they do it. Thanks for joining me on this summer at Phoenix tour. And hopefully you guys are inspired to garden. And if you do garden, hopefully you'll garden edible things and create an edible food forest permaculture paradise in your own back and front yard like we've done here. And I'll see you guys on our next video. Moringa trees next. Tune in.